Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the garage, and today I thought we'd do something a little bit kind of working on the 300ZX manual swap project. We've got our transmission that I've sourced right here. This is a used transmission out of an NA 300ZX. If you're thinking about swapping over your 300ZX, tired of the automatic transmission, want to be in the cool kids club, I want to be in the cool kids club, so we got to do this thing. So a few things to look at. So this is how I got it. I, from a junkyard, ordered it in from me from another junkyard, swapping parts. And this is how it showed up to me. So number one thing that I want to talk about is this shifter bracket right here. On this transmission, it's got a shifter bracket that the shifter hooks up to here and puts it in the right place in the car. Now the OEM bracket, we just move this turbo out of the way here. The OEM bracket bolts up here and is hinged similar to this, and then it's got a retaining plate, a dust boot, and like 3 different seals, and it moves so it limits the vibration that comes off the transmission. But what I'm looking for on this, because those gaskets and seals go bad, that shifting retainer plate goes bad, and it's like $100. We're gonna order all this. If you order that bracket, that shifter retaining plate, the dust boot, everything that adds up, I mean, it could be $400 just for this little bracket, and that's before you get to the even shifter. That's like another $100. So I mean, we could be $500 just for this little shift piece that, as you can see, I'm missing right here. But they make some solid shifter pieces. That's what we're gonna try and target on this. They are a little bit tricky to find. I'll let you know when I get a hold of one, but that's what we're gonna do. It deletes some of those, the shifter plate and the shifter bracket and stuff, and just goes with one solid piece that our shifter mounts up to. It's like 1/3 of the cost overall. Then another thing I want to check, so this is a used transmission, so obviously we've got some damaged sensors here that are not going to be able to just slap in the car and make work. We've got exposed wire. We'll need to address this sensor, and then I think this one, yeah, same thing. I mean, it's a 30-year-old transmission. We've got broken exposed wire here. Both these sensors probably should just be replaced. We've got our speed sensor here that hopefully looks okay. This is our grounding strap on this one here. We got where our vent tube goes, our vent for the case, and then our starter will bolt up right here. And then the difference between a non-turbo and a twin-turbo 300ZX manual transmission, the internals are all the same. It's cheaper if Nissan just makes one product, you know, keeps it all the same for multiple cars. That's how they can keep costs down. But what the difference is this bell housing. So on the non-turbo bell housing, it's a little bit smaller. It's not open as much. And then the twin turbo one is just a little bit wider. Now they do say you can go through and grind out probably whatever was hitting right here. Somebody might have had a problem with this might have been swapped, and somebody might have had a problem with that. And get the twin turbo flywheel and clutch to fit in here, but we're just gonna go with an NA clutch, NA flywheel, NA transmission, and that'll be it. Since the twin turbo transmission bell housing is just a little bit bigger, has a little bit more clearance right here to fit that little bit larger clutch, a little bit larger flywheel for a little bit more surface area for clamping force. And then another popular upgrade is, of course, you want a new throwout bearing. This is the one that came on the transmission, but we'll put a new one when we get in there. But this is right here. So this is our shift fork, and this is a stamped steel piece. Since it's a one piece of steel that's stamped and formed into place, it can tend to flex under pressure, and it's kind of a weak point. So they have a really popular one that came out for the 350Z, and it's a solid cast piece of iron that goes right here. And it's probably about $150 for the thing. If you watch some of my other videos, you can see when we look at parts and components, how much that upgrade is. About 150 bucks. It comes with a new dust boot right here, which, let's see if we can just take some of this apart. There's our dust boot. This one actually looks okay, so we won't have to worry about that. No rips or tears. And then let's see if I can just pop this off there. How many gloves? Hold on. So here's a look at our stamped steel single ply. We'll call it the single ply shift fork. This one needs to be cleaned up, but it's just a single piece that, if under a lot of pressure, this is going to be our weak point. That's going to kind of bend and flex and not keep the load where we want it to be, which is of course on this guy here. Oh, this is unfortunate. Ours is broken. So a new one of these throwout bearing sleeves is about 45 bucks. I was hoping we could get away with not ordering one, but this one doesn't look kosher. So we've got some damage here. We'll probably have to just order a whole new sleeve. We can get the whole kit with the new fork. That's a solid piece, which, you know, might not be, maybe we won't, I don't know. We're trying to be on a budget. This piece will work for us for sure. You don't always have to upgrade everything, especially since right off the bat, we're not going to be using, you know, high horsepower, high clutch. We're just going for stock upgrade. So we might keep this until we replace the clutch. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to use this piece until we replace the clutch with a more high clamping force clutch to once we make it there in power, but we're not there in power yet, so I'm not spending the extra money. This part, this little ball right here, this is another part that gets upgraded with this. Helps just keep any unnecessary wear, all that. But what I want to talk about is this input shaft seal right here and a new gasket for that. So this is just maintenance that we need to do to this transmission before we put it in, is put a new gasket here. We'll pull that and do that later. And of course, our dust boot, and then anything that we're gonna have to address in here, we'll do that before we put it in the car. Another area you might want to address is this area right here. Make sure you got a nice gasket, tight seal. I've got a broken boot right here, so we'll see if we can get a new boot for that. We'll have to take this off to address this boot and try to get it replaced. And then our output shaft seal, we don't want to be leaking any transmission fluid, so we'll put a new one of those in. And this is just all good preventative maintenance stuff. This is all good preventative maintenance stuff to do while you have the transmission out and before we put it in the car, because anytime we get used parts, we want to go ahead and freshen it up before we use it. All right, that's what I got for like a quick look at our transmission here, our manual transmission. And of course, our mount goes right here. I think once we have the transmission, the next thing to do, if you can source a manual transmission with this shifter piece already there, and then even if you have the shifter there too, that'd be a huge bonus, because you don't think of it. You think, oh, I got the transmission, but this little piece right here can be a headache and it can get expensive quickly. We'll easily be into just this piece, this shifter piece, and the shifter for probably almost as much as I paid for this entire transmission. And then if we upgraded this fork, we would definitely be there. I think I got this transmission from a salvage yard for like 350 bucks. So not bad at all. And but if we could have got it a little bit more pieces for a little bit more money, it would have been nice. All right, guys, that's what I got for our manual transmission look at while we prep it, get it ready to go in the car. Some pieces that you should look forward to. Some stuff you can look out for while you're shopping for your used 300ZX transmission. Save yourself some money, target a really good one, and then boom, get the best bang for your buck to help you in the future. If you got to pay a little bit more now, you probably save more in the long run. All right, guys, you go to questions, hit me in the comments down below. Get to the links for some of the parts that we're going to be using on this manual swap. Then if you want to support the channel, head over to Patreon, kick down $1 or $2. Much appreciated to you. Support this community, help it grow. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.